Hi, how's it going? I'm Lady Leeanna, as most of you know, and this show is Wicca for today. And it's great to be talking to you once more. I'm feeling rather chipper today. It's September the 26th and we've just came through the autumn equinox and the sun's ducking a little bit. It's getting a little bit cooler and I believe we're actually heading toward a minor cold front here in the next few days from what I understand, and I'm looking forward to that. You know, we're kind of fast heading toward my favorite holiday of all time, and that's Samhain, as I've said in other videos and most of you know. And I'm really looking forward to that. Also, I'm going to TRF here within a month, and that's going to be nice. That is so going to be nice. But today, what I wanted to do is talk to you about something I so rarely do, and that is magic. To this point, I've kind of refrained from talking a lot about magic because I feel that it's far more important that you learn all that you can about the god and goddess, about the earth, about herbs, and all of this first, because you need every bit of this, every element of what I've just said to go into that magic that you would perform to make things happen. Otherwise, it's just not going to work now, is it? And I've had some people, you know, very lightly complain because I wasn't getting to the magics of everything. And, you know, all I have to say is, what are you going to do? I mean, if you don't have the god and goddess, how are you going to make anything work? Or if you don't have Earth's age, high magic's aid or low magic's aid, if you don't have either one, then what are you going to do? And if you don't have, you know, your knowledges and will and strength about you, how are you going to make anything work? And all of that comes from all of these other knowledges and wisdoms that you would acquire. And so that is what I was doing up to this point. But now I do want to talk a little bit about magic to you. And there are three primary magical types that I wanted to actually address today. And they're actually my three favorite. The three that I use most. Okay? And not saying that there isn't more than that. I hope I'm not squelching in the microphone by touching it, you know, here over on my left shoulder. But yes, I wanted to talk to you about ritual magic, about sympathetic magic, and about astral projection magic. These are three types that I use very prominently within all of my works. Of course, you also have charm magic, and really, to get into charm magic, I would set up a table and actually show you if I haven't already, and I don't believe that I have. And that should be coming pretty soon. With any luck, maybe here within a week. But anyway, your sympathetic magic, your ritual magic, and your astral projection magic. These are very important, okay? So first, I want to talk about your ritual magic. Ritual magic is a magic that you see me actually performing in this particular video right here, where you'll light up your candles, you'll light up your incense, you'll write out a prayer on paper, you'll anoint it, you'll use pictures, and that can be a sort of a sympathetic magic, also using pictures to a degree. But in the way that I'm doing it here, it really is ritual magic, or at least that's the way I like to title it. But you'll anoint the picture or the prayer that you've written down. You'll roll up some herbs, particular herbs in it for whatever your cause is, and you'll either give it to the fire or you'll, you know, do some other things with it. And there are so many different things that you could actually do in ritual magic. But dancing around the table, chanting, saying prayers to the god and goddess, you know, this is a lot of your ritual magic. There are a lot of words and a lot of actions, but it's quite a bit different from your sympathetic magic. Now, let's talk about your sympathetic magic. Sympathetic magic is a topic or actually concept, that it was introduced or said to be introduced in 1889 by Sir James George Fraser. Okay, now I don't believe that he actually introduced the concept, or maybe he did to the public, but it was first actually depicted on cave walls with cavemen spearing at the animal that they would want to kill during their hunt, or whatever else would transpire. Maybe a couple coming together and then their family tree would be devised thereafter in the descendant. You know, there are so many different older ways that it was depicted, but it's said that James George Fraser introduced it in a book called The Golden Bough in 1889. Now, it didn't become widely popular or well known to the public until, let's see, Margaret Murray, Aleister Crowley, Raymond Buckland. All of these guys brought it in. Gerald Gardner, I'm sorry, not Raymond Buckland, but Gerald Gardner, introduced it in the late 1960s through their books that were given. Now, sympathetic magic was actually broken up into two categories by Sir James Fraser, and it was called similarity sympathetic magic, as well as contact or contagion magic. And now do realize that both of these titles fall under sympathetic magic. Now, your contagion magic would be where an item was taken from an individual, and it could be hair, and I pull on my supposed hair that really just isn't there anymore as much. Your hair, a watch, a piece of jewelry of any other sort, articles of clothing was used quite a bit, and some people use a cigarette butt because there may be saliva on the end of it, and that's DNA likewise. And I actually use this form quite a bit for helping people and for putting things out of balance and things of that nature. Alright, now your similar or similarity sympathetic magic was, as Gerald Gardner and Raymond Buckland both put it, like breeds like. Men were about to go out on a hunt, and they wanted it to be a good hunt so they could bring food back to their table, to their family, their tribe. You know, they would make these models of bison and deer, and they would stand back and throw spears at these models, and if they actually hit it, then it signified that there would be a good hunt, and it would rile them up, and they would dance around the fires, and then they would go out on their hunt the very next morning following, or that morning if they did it in the early day. So that was one form that was actually practiced in the oldest days, and by the cave people or tribal people. Let's see. Now, using a picture of somebody is another way of similarity magic. I've drawn things out, and as I said earlier, you know, you would find depictions on cave walls of men spearing bison or other animals, usually deer, or you would see depictions of men and women coming together and children being born below as descendants, you know, things of that nature. This is similarity magic within sympathetic magic, and it happens quite a bit. I mean, I actually use this a lot, and I would say that I combine contagion magic and similarity magic most of the time, because I feel that that is also powerful. And sometimes I will even combine all three, your similarity magic as well as your ritual magic and And I really feel that your ritual magic kind of goes through all of it anyway. But your similarity magic, your ritual magic, and your astral projection magic, because I would use pictures of people, I would use articles that belong to them to help them, and I would be doing a ritual and saying a lot of prayers, writing my prayers down in my handwriting for them, or having the person do it, which is the best way really. And once I've put all of this together, and I'll even use charm magic in with all of these others a great deal of the time, because I will put it all into a little charm. And then when I'm done with all of this, then I'll later on, before bed, I'll pay a little visit by astraling over to somebody and whispering in their ear if I'm to influence them on behalf of the other person, or if I'm trying to help them to better themselves because that's what they came to me for. I will breeze over in spirit and talk to them about what a beautiful person they are. And I'll picture this in my head and see everything that's going on around them or in their room, wherever they might tend to be at that time, as it opens up into astral projection. So it really is a very, very powerful work. And by the way, that is what astral magic is, where you may take trips or attach yourself to an animal and go through the woods and roam through the night, okay, on the body of an animal. Or you may breeze over to somebody that you're trying to help, or trying to influence somebody that you want to influence in whatever way, form, or fashion. You know, you'll let yourself be taken there through meditation, and you'll end up over them, hovering over them, and or behind them, over their shoulder or whatever, talking to them about whatever it is that you need to discuss with them and influence them in that way. Of course, you know, you may implement a little bit of candle magic in with that. You see, the sky is the limit. I use sometimes 5 and 6 types of magic at one time. Although I really wanted to stick to 3 types of magic today, you know, but, you know, and I will for the most part. I've already talked to a small degree about candle magic in the past, you know, but I'll use candle magic in connection with astral projection later on the night to go and talk to somebody after I have already done my combination of my charm, ritual magic, sympathetic magic, and whatever else I said before, you know. I mean, there's all kinds of magic out there, and you can combine each and every one of them. But again, your ritual magic is what you would see in my Samhain video that I made, where you see the bowl of fruit there being given. That would be your ritual magic, okay? Where you're giving an item to the god and goddess, where you're doing a lot of ritual and prayer and, you know, asking things from the spirit, giving thanks to the spirit. That's all ritual magic. Your similar magic, or your sympathetic magic, moreover, is, you know, where you're doing things by contagion, where you're using an item that belongs to somebody and has their vibration on it. Or on the flip side of that, you're using similarity magic, where you're drawing things, or you're making a puppet or doll, and that's becoming more broadly used. Although, you know, it was used a lot in voodoo, it doesn't mean that puppets necessarily came from there, because that particular practice was first seen to have arrived from Egypt. So as you see, you can combine any number of different types of magic together to make happen that which you want, such as the fact that I would create a candle in a particular way that I would use while I'm astraling over to talk to somebody's head during the night. Sometime after I would combine my ritual magic, astral projection magic and sympathetic magic, as well as maybe even charm magic during the same space of time. And that's 6 different types of magic. So the sky's the limits there. You can do as you will, just make sure you put your whole heart and your soul into it as you're working on it. That's the main thing, But your ritual magic is what you would see in my Samhain video that I'm actually showing you, where I've got the bowl of fruit and everything here, and I'm talking to the gods and goddesses. I'm writing down my prayers on paper. I'm doing particular things with it. That's ritual magic. Okay, your sympathetic magic, being divided into 2 categories, is either where you're using similarity magic and you are actually spearing a bison made out of clay, or you're using pictures or drawing pictures of things happening, and your contagion, that would be under sympathetic magic, where you're using an item that has vibration or DNA, whatever, of a person on it. And then astral projection magic, where you would breeze over and talk to the head of whoever you want to influence. These 3 are the ones that I wanted to talk to you about today, and I hope you have a little bit of a grasp on what they are at this point. They're pretty deep subjects, but more than anything, you would see people talk about it very vaguely and then draw depictions on it. Generally, it's something you would learn on your own, within your own mind and spirit, because it's a hands-on learning thing more than anything. People could talk about it left and right, but it doesn't mean that they're going to help you to understand what it would feel like or to go there. And once you've done it the first time, then it's pretty easy thereafter. But it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, especially when we're talking about astral projection, and that's what's been in my head all of the time. I'm talking about complications and experience, hands-on and all of that. Your astral projection is something that's really hard for somebody to teach you, but that you would just do. That you would start trying to do, and you would be patient until you get it done, till it happens. And it's not something you force in, but you have to learn to relax. And I'll talk about astral projection in a video soon to come. Right now, I just wanted to talk about incorporating it in as a form of magic. And so far I've kind of touched on candle magic to a light degree, astral projection magic, charm magic to a light degree, and I do intend to do a video in the very near future as far as astral projection goes and your charm making magic. Okay, charm magic is very important, and we use that quite a bit, as well as all of the others being spoken of. Different people prefer to work in different ways. Me, I like to use all of it. I guess being in magic for 32 years, I've just incorporated it all in slowly but surely. And I don't know at what point or time each one of them came to being a part of me. But, 32 years is, and that's a lot of different types of magic to ponder over. It just happened. And that's the way it'll happen with most people. It's over time and in their own time. But I hope that this has been of a help to you. You really ought to explore all of these subjects a little more in depth. There is some information out there, but you would learn more by watching individual rituals, as you would watch in my shows or other people that are making shows. You would learn by people giving light examples, but embarking on it yourself is where you'll really learn. Anyway, take care of yourself, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Bright blessings. Bye-bye.